Like, who's gonna go through all of this to see some nudes? I feel violated, and these are nudes of me. Like, why would you immediately go to that? Like, why are you such a creep? He's sitting up there like Sherlock Holmes of the internet, going into social media profiles, Snapchats, Instagrams, TikToks, Facebooks, falling down rabbit holes to find other family members, plugging in any possibility of what could potentially be a password. Why do I want to talk about this? First of all, this is a crazy story. My initial reaction in stories like this is a chuckle. Chuckle because okay, like, who's gonna go through all of this to see some nudes? Like, okay, I get it. All right, I guess I wasn't gonna get. I said I wasn't gonna get personal, but I guess I am. I like when I get nudes from women. I like it. Who wouldn't like it? I'm sure there's some people out there that love getting nudes from men. Like, nudes is cool. It's a, I don't know what to call it. It's a kind of an adrenaline rush. I like to get the nudes from people that want to send them to me. One time I met an actress, just a regular actress. She'd been on several shows. I was really excited to meet her. And I sent the picture of me and her to a couple of friends of mine. My friends were like, "Who is that?" I was like, "Oh, she's been on a couple of shows." They immediately scoured the internet to try and find nudes for her, and then put it in the group chat and be like, "This her?" And I'm like, I feel violated, and these are nudes of me. Like, why would you immediately go to that? Like, why are you such a creep? And I will say that, the women, I have a lot of female friends, and I will admit, guys, we're more than a little creepy, more than a little bit. So my initial reaction was to chuckle because, like, bruh, porn is free on the internet. OnlyFans don't cost that much, so I suppose I see advertisements for $5 and $3 to join OnlyFans. You can get all the nudes you want. I also wanted to chuckle because there are parts of this story that I left out purposely because I want to address them now. and I'm sorry for laughing. But this is what my man did. To, in order to hack the system, he hacked the system. He, in order to get passwords to like iCloud to be able to access the private data of these female athletes, he would Google them, get on their social medias, and try and find their mother's maiden name and more important and details of their birthdays and dog names and things like that to be able to get the passwords to access their iCloud. Now, said that over 150,000 people were hacked. I know he did this over a span of 8 years, but do you know how much time that takes? That takes a lot of time just to see some nudes. Like, think about that. Just to see some news when you can see news on the internet for free all the time. All the time. He's sitting up there like Sherlock Holmes of the internet, going into social media profiles, Snapchats, Instagrams, TikToks, Facebooks, falling down rabbit holes to find other family members, plugging in any possibility of what could potentially be a password. To get passwords for over 150,000. Now, he didn't have to do this for all 150,000. I'm being hyperbolic here, but even if it was 10, okay, that's a lot of time and effort to see some nudes. And what is with men being so creepy? Look, I met a young lady recently, just out and about. And like we were sitting at the bar, drinking, having some drinks or whatever, and we were hitting it off. I'm a single man. I'm just a bachelor looking for a partner, someone who knows how to ride. No, let me stop. But I'm just chilling. We just communicating, just talking. And anybody who has met me in person when I've been drinking knows that I get super friendly when I've been drinking. That's when my personality comes out, or what y'all see. That's when I'm really talkative. I'm inquisitive. I ask questions. I'm really messy. That's what I found out. I'm really, really messy. But my messiness is not mm, to be harmful or hurtful in any way. It's just I'm genuinely interested in people's stories. This is part of the reason why I started this podcast, right? I'm genuinely interested in people. People fascinate me. And I want to know as much as I can about you because I love learning about people. So me and this young lady are talking and we are vibing because I'm cracking jokes, what I'm saying, doing what I do, just the way players play all day, every day. I don't know what else to say, right? And we're vibing. And I was like, yeah, I don't know how old she is. I don't know how old she is. And somehow that comes up. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know I'm about to turn 45 in just a couple of months. I'm 44 years old currently. I don't know if I look 44. Some people say I don't. Some people say, nah, you look 44. I don't know. I don't know what 44 is supposed to look like. Okay. She obviously didn't know how old I was. She dropped the knowledge that she was 24. I said, ma'am, I was in college when you were born. I was in college when you were born. I was immediately turned off because she's too young for me. Now, she didn't look like a kid, but she's too young for me. She looked like she was a professional woman, right? But she's too young for me. As soon as I found that age, as soon as I found out what that age was, I'm good with that, shorty. I'm cool because there's too much of a gulf in between us about where we are in our lives, and like it won't work. You're still young enough. You need to go find your way. You need to go have some mistakes. You need to go have some relationships and get your heart broken before you find that right person. Because I'm gonna mess up your whole world because you're gonna think I'm perfect and want to be with me. And then, I might think that you're okay. Or vice versa. That happens from time to time. So this dude, Weiss, is specifically trying to look at college age women. And I'm sorry, but college age is anywhere from 17 to 23, maybe. If you start college young, right? 17, maybe you have one of those birthdays where you started kindergarten for, you're 17 when you enter into college. Or maybe you got one of those late birthdays, and instead of graduating when you're 22, you graduate when you're 23, right? Like all those things are possible. So let's say the age range is 17 to 23. The young lady I met was 24, too young for me, right? She was dressed in professional attire because she had just come from work. So she looked and carried herself as older. These are college kids. If you go on college campuses, these kids look like kids. So he is hacking all these computers of these college female athletes just to get their nudes and sexually explicit videos. I can't leave that out, right? Sexually explicit videos. And it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, seriously, what are we doing here? 150 people. And just the intricacies of trying to find out what these passwords were when porn, once again, is free. But then I take off my immature hat and then I look at the privacy of these people just being torn away from them and how hurting that has to be to feel helpless. This was on their phones. Maybe they just wanted to keep it to themselves. I take selfies in the bathroom when I'm monitoring my weight mass gain or if I'm leaning out, you know. Women do the same thing. Maybe the nudes that were in their phone is just to get an idea of their body. Fitness is a very big thing in this country now, and especially for the younger generation, they're taking care of themselves. So maybe these pictures are on their phone because they're just gauging how their body is changing. Maybe they are sending nudes to different people or romantic partners, or even not romantic partners, just friends. I've had female friends that were legitimately, well, I guess this one particular friend, me and her had history, but we were friends at that point that, because I'm a trainer, sent me what would be classified as nudes, but they weren't, because they were of the purpose of, where do I need to work on things? And asking for my suggestions is because I'd already seen her naked. It wasn't that big of a deal. But to feel like I have this private moment, maybe it's a sexually explicit video between two partners and they decided to be, spruce up the relationship. I don't know why you gotta spruce up the relationship if you 17 to 23, but I don't know what it's like to be 17 to 23 in this day and age, because those kids had porn readily available to them as soon as they had their own phone, as soon as they had their own computer. So maybe you do got to spice things up at a young age. I didn't. I don't even got to spice things up now, but that's neither here nor there. We talking about this particular situation. And this special moment has now been stolen from you because a dude wanted to be Sherlock Holmes on the internet.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.